So my name is Sinéad Reel. I am Chairperson of the Armagh Ladies County Board. I have been involved in ladies Gaelic football from the age of probably 10. I think I went to my first county board meeting when I was 10 or 11 with my dad. At that stage I was involved with Clevie GSE, played all my underage and adult football with Clevie. And then in the past 7 years then I'm now a member of Silverbridge GSE and was heavily involved in coaching there and play ladies the Gaelic for mothers and others in Silverbridge. So basically I'm a mother of one. She just turned 20 last week, Rosina. So I work with my brother. We own the locksmiths in Newry. And it's full time there, and then it's full time out of work with the voluntary role with the football with Armagh. So it's always busy. So the aim is to continue to promote ladies football throughout the county and get as many young girls involved, starting off at grassroots with their own clubs, and then eventually maybe making the move to play maybe at that level up for their county and represent the county at underage and then senior football. So that would be the aim, just to get as many girls playing football as possible around the county. So I was playing for a club in Newry because there was no ladies football for me at my age in my locality at the time, which was back in 1989 maybe, when I think back. So my dad would have taken me out to a club outside of Newry, and I played there, and then eventually it got to the stage where I had tortured him that much in taking me to the football. He was involved heavily in the club committee in Clevie, and I tortured him to start girls football in Clevie. So that officially started in 1990. So inspiration wise, probably mom and dad, who drove us everywhere. We were all involved in GAA in our house, and they would have taken us to all the games, like county games even years ago, watching the men. And then eventually dad had a role with the county board also then in Armagh, so I suppose I'm following in his footsteps in that way. And again, the two of them were always there, always ready to take us wherever we needed to go, not just for football, but for anything we were involved in. We would have had an active and busy life in our house, so everybody was involved in something. So you were in one door and out the other. So the two of those, probably mom and dad, were the biggest inspiration for me to get involved in sport. So it really snowballed from there, and I've played football really since I was 10 years of age up until I was about 38 or 9 there competitively. So it was time to hang the boots up and go to the non-competitive side of things then. So that's what I do now, is the Gaelic for mothers. So I played county football with Armagh, probably from a young age back then. There's a rule now that you can only be a certain age to play at a certain level. Obviously that's because there's more numbers and you're competing against people your own age. But back when I played for Armagh, I started when I was about 13, so I think I had a cameo role doing nets because we were struggling for numbers. So back then you could have been playing alongside girls who were maybe 20 at that stage, so they were like 7 or 8 years older than you, but you played together for the county because there was no real age limit back then, and it was a case of just representing the county and getting the county out there. Obviously that has changed massively now as time has gone on, because of the numbers growing over the years. So obviously I played, and then whilst still playing, I was involved with Armagh right up until 2004 and played county football up until then, and then my daughter appeared on the scene, so I gave up the county scene, but I also still continued to play club football. And that's probably when the administration side started to kick in for me with the county. So I would have taken smaller roles, like on a subcommittee, and then I was like doing a bit of PRO work, and then I was treasurer for a couple of years, and just different roles, liaison officer with the senior team. So I always knew things, what had to be done in the background, and I always wanted to try and improve things. And not being disrespectful, but there were a lot of men involved in the committees back then who maybe weren't in the changing room, who didn't know. And, again, without those men, we wouldn't be where we are today. But a woman knows what a woman's needs are in a certain respect when it comes to the sport, and when you're in a circle of women who need to improve a situation. So I always felt I had that upper hand to try and keep pushing. So that led me then to take on the chairperson role at the end of 2017, and I'm there in the chairperson role ever since. Trying to get out of it, but nobody else really seems to want to take it. It's a big responsibility. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of work has to be done outside of your own work. You're away maybe most evenings. I was still playing when I was involved, and then I was coaching when I was involved. So I've tried to take a wee bit of a back seat on the coaching element, which I miss desperately because I love coaching kids, and you know, not even just for the football side of it, because there's some kids around the county are coming from, you know, sad situations at home and you don't know what's going on, and this is their release and their outlet. And I always find that you know, it's brilliant for young people to be involved in a team sport in general for the social element of it. So I missed that end of it. I will hope to get back to it, but at the minute, just because of the role that I'm in, I could be in Tullamore tomorrow night at a meeting, and I could be in Ballygawley next Tuesday night at a meeting, and I can be in Armagh. So just time wise, it takes up a lot of your evenings. So I can't really commit to that side of the coaching thing, which I do miss, but I will get back there at some stage or other. Yeah, so basically we're the first county in the whole of Ireland to have our own training facility, which is a female ladies Gaelic football only training facility. Something which we had spoke about maybe about 10 years ago as a committee, and the opportunity wasn't there. And then about maybe 7 years ago again, when I took on the role as chair, there was an opportunity come up. It was actually my dad had spotted the opportunity and had said it to me to bring it to the committee, of which we did. We probably during COVID, which was 2020, we started work on the actual pitch training facility itself. That facility is now totally active. We have a fantastic floodlit facility there as well. Again, there's a lot of work to be done because we need to build a pavilion with full changing rooms and catering facilities, etc., gym area and that, which is going to take a lot more money. So the fundraising really comes from the people within the county. So donations were made through the GoFundMe page. We would have run Sponsor a Player, Friends of Armagh, golf classics, whatever we could think of, we tried to run. And the only drawback probably with the ladies side of things is it's not as well supported as the men's. And you know, I have said this before, and like, I'm not going to throw the female card out there and complain that men get more than women. That's just the way it is. But what we're trying to do is create more awareness of the sport and support the sport. So for example, when you take this weekend that the men's Ulster final is in Clonus, guarantee you 50% of the crowd that are there will be women supporting the men. So we would love that 50% of those women who are going to Clonus this week. Will that 50% of women go and support women the following week? Because we do have quite a lot of male support on match days for the senior team, especially because a lot of men actually love to watch ladies Gaelic football because they think it's a better sport. So what we're trying to do is create more awareness of that, get bigger crowds at matches, whether that's through a home game here in the athletic grounds or whether it's in Clonus or wherever the match may be. It's creating awareness of the sport, and with that we are hoping then that financial support would come along with, you know, with that support. It's very hard to come by through governing bodies because we're not actually recognised as a separate entity. So if we apply to a certain governing body, ladies Gaelic football is not recognised, whereas GAA, as in football and hurling for the men, is recognised, so they can apply and get funding. That's a big brick wall for us. It's a door I'm trying to keep knocking. It's continuously been closed this past couple of years, but it's not even for us in Armagh that I want to open that door. It's probably for other counties within the six, within the north, that if they follow what we're trying to do, that door's already open and they don't have the headache that we have had to try and get that financial support. So there is money out there, it's just that we can't tap into it because we're not recognised as a separate entity. So, which is a pity. That's something again I want to change, and that has to come through the government and government bodies and maybe local councillors getting behind ladies Gaelic football. So it's about changing the thought and changing the trend of supporting ladies Gaelic football. So we've had a fairly successful year so far with all our county teams. So our underage teams, the under 14s are playing this weekend in the All Ireland quarter final, and our under 16s are in the semi final in June, and our minors are in the All Ireland semi final in July. and our seniors are in the Ulster final next Sunday in Clones. They play Donegal, and then depending on the outcome of that, they will be put into their group then for the All-Ireland series, which starts in June. And for the first time ever in our history in Armagh, we won the Division 1 League title this year in Croke Park there on the 7th of July, which was a brilliant, it was brilliant for the bunch of girls that are involved. It was our first time back up in Division 1 since 2017, I think, off the top of my head. And it was brilliant for some girls that have been there so many years, and they really deserved it, because I think at the start of the year we were just hopeful to stay in Division 1 and survive Division 1, and to win it was just absolutely brilliant. And there was a great crowd up supporting the girls, which definitely carried them through. So yeah, the year it's going really well on the field, and things are going well off the field as well, I suppose. So and club football is good, so it's all culminating and it's all positive. So obviously there's negatives with everything, but you try to overcome them and produce the positive side of the whole sport, you know. Yeah. The biggest thing is probably financial support, and obviously support on the day of match days. So you have all these people who scramble to get tickets for the men's games, and we're actually maybe trying to give away free tickets, and you know, people still don't come and support their club mates, their sisters, their cousins, their aunties, whatever it may be. Whereas, you know, people don't think twice about going to the men's game. So I'd love to change that trend. And I think if somebody actually came to watch a spectacle of ladies football at high level, they would definitely come back, because it's such a fast-paced game. It's very physical now these days, whereas it wouldn't have been. A lot more women are doing strength and conditioning in teams, and they train and work as hard as any men's team. So they deserve the recognition and the support on match days. So you'd have that, and obviously, you know, as I spoke about, the financial help, which would definitely benefit everybody. But again, that's probably down to governing bodies changing their ways, and maybe a lot more business people who don't understand or don't follow ladies football, who willingly, you know, will support the men's football, which again, that's the way it is, and you know, that's how it is. Not something that I'd like to change. Integration coming may change certain aspects of that, but it may also not. I always would have a fear with integration of all the 4 codes that you can become the lost leader. So instead of us sitting where we are on a ladder at the minute, I'd say sometimes you can go back to the bottom rung and you can get lost unless we have, you know, a strong partnership with everybody involved, and every county is going to be different in that aspect, because some counties are further ahead than others with integration. So yeah, so there's loads of things you'd like to see change, but it's all going to take time.